Hey, video game fans, more specifically Conan fans. This is Matt, back at another update on my home base build. I got some changes, definitely filled in some things that before were definitely empty. I'm trying to make sure I don't repeat myself too many times. As you can see, I have guards now posted, populating the outside spaces, a few jacked up dogs. I got my horses in their stalls. Got a couple of guards next to the door on the side. Got some hay bales. Never mind the impending doom music. I've been getting that more often lately. I built some of the upper tier planters, filled them with my various lotus plants. I have not updated the other ones yet. It's all pretty much the same as it was before, same here. I made a change on top of here. I had this thing down below in a position that really didn't make any sense. Still got a tree in the way, but you figure this thing can, move around a little. So now I have a little telescope on top of my tower. It does mean this entire part of this tower is exposed to the elements, so I'm not real happy about that, but there's not much I can do about it. This part, I don't think I did anything with this, so there's no reason to go back into that. The rest of this, I have had a lot of changes. There's a lot of changes. I'm looking down at the ground so I don't reveal too much. So I finished my lattice work under the overhang, including the set with the little doors. Not that there's a whole lot of room in here for stuff. I got my gong donger here. I built in this corner an area for housing, limited housing. And I created an overhang. There's a guardian up there that you can't see because she is invisible. I have these people basically representing Mitra priests. She's a real Mitra priest, but these other ones are not. I just gave them attire and gave them, they're kind of like priests that are just making sure nobody, wanders outside the temple. Then I got a bunch more thralls and gave them kind of like acolyte-looking outfits, which are basically just the slave gear that you usually get when you get a thrall, and I colored it white or whatever. Colored their belts. One of them is a dingier form of blue, which isn't quite the same as the priest's blue. They're kind of like acolytes here to pray, so I just think they added a little more atmosphere to this room. For the most part, this room hasn't had any other major changes, because I already had these pillars altered before. I did change the walls. As you can see, I now have all of the walls are using the Khitan constructed part, at least until here. These are outdoor. I don't want to alter these because I like the way they look outside. I just realized I put something over that. Oh, so it doesn't have the little sun coming in behind his head effect. Well, I'm going to have to do something different with that. Yeah, so I got that. Let's see what we got here in these little. This is still a work in progress. I'll say that at least once. I say that before every video. This is not the first incarnation of this space, nor will it be the last. It is going to continue to evolve until I find it where I want it to be. I had a wall here, but it was kind of bothersome. As you can see, there's not much room in this. This is more like a storage space than anything else, but I put a bed there. The staircase goes up. This is the third different staircase I've used to come up here, and I'm still not happy with it. But it creates this overhang, and see, here's the little person standing right at that thing, completely invisible from down below because of their coloring. Another bed. Again, all this work just for a couple of extra bed spaces. The reason why it would be really nice to put the staircase up to here, except this is the only way I can move over to this section. I'll get to that in a moment. So, not really, this is definitely not the final look for this, but it's the current look. It's what I have right now, till I figure out something else. Workstations, for the most part, haven't changed. I'll get to that next. So I reconfigured my little restroom area. I like this. Okay, so now I have an exterior door. Boom, right into the little, you know, there we go. It's a very pleasant looking bathroom. It's got a little incense to burn, you know, it's got water, and you know, you can clean your hands afterwards. It's one of the best bathrooms in the game that I've designed. So the workstations, I don't think have changed any for the most part. I did replace the old pillars here with the ones from the Khitan set, which, as you can see, are a little more boring than the ones that are out in the temple hall, where I used the Murayama set. I did get all the floor tiles up here replaced. The area down below, I don't think has changed at all. I've put a lot more things in those containers, but other than that, maybe a little decorative touch, but not much. So everything from this point over is pretty much the same. This is the same casting table that I had before, but I decided I needed somebody needed me to build the highest level armorer's bench, so I had to make room to build this and shuffle some things around to make room for it. So that's changed. I had to move the improved dismantling bench slightly to incorporate this. I mentioned this in the last video, but I had to move it again in order to make it so the space kind of makes sense. All this area, nothing has changed here. I haven't done anything different. I did replace some things and I had to get rid of this wall to edit some things down below, and then I put the wall back. So some things have moved and been replaced. Elevator's still the same. So here is my new and improved stable area, or stable, or the saddle workshop. I could actually enclose this and make a door to the outside instead. I had to, basically this space I'm standing in right here was outside, and it wasn't really being used by my building, so I got rid of the walls, reconfigured the ceiling to make it work, and created a much nicer space for my saddle maker. And of course, he's right next to the outdoors, so that makes sense too. So this whole thing here was added on, and then I adjusted my roof to accommodate. See, there's where the temple, the little water thing should be out and open, but oh well. Made some other changes though. This is a big change I made at the end of last week. If you've noticed in here, my vaulted ceilings are gone. I moved my ceilings down a whole level so I could create bedroom space, more bedroom space upstairs. The staircase goes up there, and there's a staircase over here. This goes outside, but then I added this. So there's the staircase that goes down. So this is the second edit for this, or the first edit, because I originally put beds in here when the floor was that high. And everything was kind of cramped. There's the little, it was basically like the little attic overhang area. This space wasn't so bad. And then, of course, remember we had that little cramped, I had to walk underneath the roof thing here. The bedroom space over here was, again, a whole floor higher, and it was a lot more cramped. I have a lot of women down there working. They need more beds. This is the women's bedroom area. This is the men's bedroom area. By dropping the ceiling down one whole foundation level, I'm able to create a much better living space. A lot more room, less, bumping your head in the ceiling. I got a lot more space to put furnishings. That's the one thing I haven't done yet. I created a ton of bedroom space. I said in the last video I wanted to create realistic bedroom spaces, or like bunkhouses for the people who work and live here. I did that, but I haven't done anything to make those living spaces look better than just throwing beds in. So this is bare minimum. I just wanted to have space for X number of beds. And of course I did the same thing over here for the women. I also have the restroom little right between them so they can both use it. The women also have their nice little deluxe bathing area. And then this door pops out to the area that is above. So we've gone full circuit around the building with some decor. I'm going to try to mention some of the what sets I'm using. I believe this is the from, yeah, the Murayama, or no, Bosonian set. This is the one that has all the little decorative lattice work on there. Otherwise, most of the stuff that's up here is in the Khitan set. Some of the walls, I like the little brick of that, and I utilized it. I was going to go through each of the different ones that I currently have. I have all the DLCs, and some of the stuff I have is from mods. In the upper part of my building, though, almost everything that isn't facing outside, anything that's outside is the insulated wood, because I like the color of it. But I didn't like the building blocks of it because it was all kind of wooden, and I wanted stone. So I had replaced all my old sandstone stuff with reinforced stone. Now there's almost no reinforced stone left in my building. I like the Bosonian set because I like the wood feel, but then some of they have these walls that are stone, and that's what this is. Like brick. I like that. The Ardashir set, the only stuff I use on this is the lattice work because I really like the lattice work on this stuff. Everything else would really clash with the decor. The arena set. Almost everything in the lower half of this building is built using the arena set because I like the big blocks, the big stone elements. Plus, I actually built a fighting arena, so it helps if I actually use the arena set. There's some things that this doesn't have. It doesn't have roofs. It doesn't have good, some of the transitional stuff, the little angled pieces and stuff. So they have arcs, which I love. They have good walls. They have arched doorways, and the big doorway. Their big doorway is smaller than the other ones. So there's a lot of things I like about this set, but it is lacking a few things. I have bridges built, but they're elsewhere. We'll get to that towards the end of this recording. I'm not using anything from Flotsam Frontier. I use quite a bit of Khitan stuff, largely the foundations and the walls, and the floors and the trapdoors, obviously, and some of the ceiling pieces. Lost Dungeon, these are what originally was like my prison cells, but I've converted basically the idea that section of my base is now basically housing for the arena gladiators. I'm changing my concept of this. Originally, it was going to be like slave fighting. It was going to be pit fighting. It was going to be visceral and fight to the death kind of stuff. But then I had this idea with all these fancy armors and stuff that I got. Why not do this like let's inject a little bit of pro wrestling into arena fighting? So the entire living space down there in the dungeon area is now kind of like where the wrestlers live. It's where the fighters, they're all in their costumes and stuff. They come out, they do their little show, then they go back. It's less life and death and more entertainment value now. I really, really love the Numidian set, but I am not using very many of its things. I think that their wood is a little too Davy Crockett, but I do like some of the stuff that's in this. I have not built anything with any of the stable stuff. I should, because I like the lattice work on those walls. Those would be kind of interesting. And storm glass. I'm using heavily storm glass outside the base. You'll see some of that at the end of this recording. But I also replaced almost all the floor tiles on the sub levels with this floor piece because of this. Look up. You see the like the joists and the support structures, the struts, all the different support beams. I like to have them so they look like they're all lined up. Well, on one of the floors down below, it was pretty good up here, but down below, they were all mismatched. They were going every which direction, which looked chaotic. So I like the Stormglass set because it's floor set, because its bottom is flat. It doesn't have the little wooden beams. So you can place them in any which direction and it's going to look fine from whatever angle. So excellent. So I'm using that quite a bit down below. I love the Turanian set. I'm basically using this exclusively in my master bedroom area and maybe the treasure room. I really love the gilded wooden, the black and gold look. It's really looks sharp, but I'm really kind of kind of making that an exclusive portion of my base. I'm not using anything from Yamatai except for the pillars. Those are the pillars that are in the temple. This is a lovely set. It's a very Japanese influenced. Yep. So those are the different building sets. But now I got to go back to where I would continue the tour. In addition to dropping down the big ceiling up here, creating a bunch of new living space, I also decided, well, let's create some more spaces down below. Oh, what's this little thing? That's the overhang to the, I'm right above the door that goes into my temple, or not my temple, my bedroom / treasure room. Overlooking the Golem workshop, workstation. Overlooking the stairs that go down to level 2. And then this thing is one of the adjacent hallways. It's above where my guards are for my treasure vault room. Another door down. Oh, there's another door over here I forgot about. You wouldn't even know to look. Right outside our little fancy bathroom. Didn't even see it, did you? I like the idea of having secret compartments and secret passages. I think that it really makes the place look and feel like, this is kind of cool, you know? So I got a staircase there. This is my the bedroom access to, you know, the little secret passage. Okay, as you can see, I haven't done anything back here since the last recording. Staircases are still there. Door comes out. There are changes over there. We'll get to it later. I love this. It's all, nobody has access to this except whoever is the, whoever is the main room. I couldn't create a more, I tried to do a rounded staircase. I tried doing a floor with a hatch and stuff. It just created so much chaos. I just left it. Oh crap! I forgot about that. Back to the secret passages. And this one does have the half staircase. So I'm trying to utilize some of the overhead space that, isn't being used. Oh yeah, I also got several cats wandering around. You're going to hear them purring. All right, well I finally replaced all the old sandstone walls with the Khitan set. Of course, you can see the little overhang from the secret compartment area. Again, more lattice work in this little, not exactly a secret area, but an area where you can kind of keep the public from viewing, prying eyes and so forth. The golem stuff. This room is pretty much the same, maybe some new decor. I took out that door, and then of course there's the alchemy station that I added in, which wasn't here on the last recording. So they're all kind of sharing space. There we go. So overhead, you can see that's what I'm talking about. The mismatched, I got to replace those. So that thing came out here, and I just put a half thing there. So above this, you wouldn't even know it. These are only 2 high now instead of 3 high like this side. But because you really can't even see it, you wouldn't even know that there's secret passages above your head. All Khitan, and all this stuff is Turanian. Don't you love that? I love that black and gold fancy Turanian door on the outside, cage door on the inside. The treasure room I haven't updated yet. This is still exactly the same as it was before. I still need to replace the walls in here, but otherwise it's looking, again, I have plenty of space above. I could create some more overhead space if I wanted. Just haven't gotten that far yet. It's a work in progress. Bedroom. Bedroom hasn't had a lot of changes since last time. Most of the furnishings in here are the same, but I did. Ooh. I don't think those are supposed to be foundations. I might check on that. I got rid of one of my screens, replaced it with this one. Took her out of the bath because she kept sliding around. There you go. Look at that. It didn't cost me too much. I went onto the site that has the marketplace had this for sale pretty cheap. So I was like, yeah, there was I don't know, last month they had it in a combination with a bunch of other secret passages, but this is the specific one I wanted because it just fit perfectly. The secret passageways now actually has a secret entrance. I love that. That's pretty much all I had to do in here. Got to keep this thing rolling. The arena viewing area, the kitchen area, and the bar. I don't think I've done anything new since the last video other than maybe put a few new people in here. There are a few new people over here. I moved some people around. I put this guy here and doing the drunk thing, but I got tired of hearing him burp. The burp in this game was really getting annoying. This is a burp. And I was like, oh God, shut up. So I just tuned it into just a drinking graphic. I put lattice work behind the bar area. I still might use that up there for something, but I thought about putting some lattice work of some kind in front of the creatures, the stuffed creatures too. We'll see. Still, mostly it's just people watching the arena. I added a couple, I rearranged this a little bit to create an area where these two are playing chess or whatever against each other. That was kind of neat. I really love the way this looks. It just feels so lived in. I love the concept of it. People are watching the athletic venue, and they come over here to grab something to drink, come over here, get something to eat. Oh, let's see, I have some meat to throw in here, speaking of. Rather than letting it go to waste in my inventory. The lower level hasn't changed any. I haven't done anything different in here other than I pulled out a person and put a new person in. To the arena floor, I put a new person here. One of my new gladiators that I just got done rebuilding. I got the lamenting pose over the guy that's laying down. He's basically playing dead. But I like the look of it. You come in here, and this is the bottom of the arena. Everybody just watching above. I got the new, another new person placed here. The mummy-looking outfit. Again, you got to remember, this is kind of like pro wrestling. People are going to be using magic and swords and other things. They're going to be playing up different stereotypes of the different ethnic groups and stuff that are a part of the games. Very different in here. So from this point on, I created a lot of new buildings. On this side, I got rid of the jail cell and stuff that was over there and created the first of many rooms. This one is strictly a room, though. This one does not have a cage door on it. We got a couple of champions in here. This guy was sinking through the floor earlier. I had to rescue him and place him out here. We'll see if he stays above ground this time. And this big tank here. Again, there's no furnishings in here. It's very Spartan, but I just needed a space to put people. One of my wolves, or actually a hyena, altered. A couple more gladiators kind of waiting for their turn in the ring. So here is the exit of my hidden passageway now. This is the cage door. Everything back here you've already seen. It pops out into this little space. Again, there's nothing here. I don't really know what I'm going to use this for other than it's just here. But I needed something on that side of the room. There was a little, that little cut in the rock. I needed to put something in there, and once I finished this side, I kind of needed this to look like a little passageway. Okay. Notice I'm using the Khitan doors now in here. All right, more changes. The new and improved prison wing, or the habitat for all of the gladiators who are just lounging around mostly, but a lot of them are in these. So you gotta. These are not cells anymore. These are gladiators waiting to fight. So I'll probably have to remove that because it's no longer like a torture room. Again, this was just a normal cell before. Okay, she's back. She sank through the floor. I had a bed, and she was lying on the bed. I could hear her doing her seduction thing, but she was invisible. She vanished. I switched on ghost mode. I went under the floor. I could hear her, but I couldn't find her body. I was hoping when I rebooted, after I removed the bed, that she'd come back. This is basically 4 women in here. I'm going to have to do some kind of housing. I might do hammocks or something. I don't know. I put some hanging, cell things in those little overheads. Those are in all the floor. All the cells have them now. I also have some out here. Another gladiator. This is a single cell gladiator, and this goes upstairs. You can see multiple levels. Going to first person makes this a little easier to showcase stuff so you don't have to look through my body. I need to put another bed in here, but this is the ground floor. But look up. It goes up multiple floors, so water can come down or pee or whatever, and it's going to have a destination. Basically, whoever's on the bottom, that's the lowest tiered fighters because of the, descending crap from above. The higher up you are, the more renowned you are, the more celebrated you are as one of the top tier gladiators. So this level is the mid tier. It's a little more spacious, but again, there's somebody above. This guy's got his own cell. It's a pretty small cell, but it's just him. I like the look of him just looking out. Then we go up to the upper tier. Got a few more beds up here. This is kind of wide open. It's not enclosed. The top tier fighters are up here. They got their own little fireplace. I need to put a few more beds in. So here's the hole that goes down into the lower cells. Then this cell opens up, and there's another enclosed couple of beds in here. In this back area is pardon me. He's using the facility. But if you don't have to sit down and you just need to stand and do your business, you can always just, piss on the lower fighters. So that is my gladiator habitat ring. I think that came out pretty nice. Kind of a waste of space using the prison tiles because these are all an entire foundation thick. There would be a lot more space in there if I swap this out with standard walls, but I already had it built. I wasn't going to change it. This hasn't changed. I still have a stable, and I still have the animal pen. I've been doing some pigs, so he's generating dung, and these guys are his buddies. They're just kind of hanging out. So I have a fenced-in little area for my pigs because, we need some fresh meat. Again, we got some fighters just kind of standing around. Just gladiators or people who are working here. I replaced the old well with this, moss-covered one where they converted the overhang part into this little thing. I thought it looked a little nicer down here. It looked a little more rustic. Okay, now to this monstrosity. You didn't even get a chance to see the last edit of this. I had an overhead wooden space, and maybe that was in the last video. I didn't watch all of my previous video when I was reviewing. But I decided that the upper level and the lower level not lining up was a problem. I wanted to build it all into one solid area, and so that's what this is. Using the arena tile set. It's not perfectly, there's little gaps. You can tell where the walls are and where the foundations are because they have slightly different faces. I love this. I could make an entire labyrinth using just this tile set, though, because they got these little 4-way corners. There's 3-way corners and 2-way corners. And it could just go off in every which direction and put some stairways and continue the tunnels. And it would be really cool to create a labyrinth of nothing but this arena tile set. But it doesn't suit my current purposes, so I'm not using it as such. But she's the defender. Anybody who tries to siege from this side or come in from here is going to have to deal with her bow. And those guys are guarding the outside. So it's a nice little area. Here's the back garage. High ceilings. Got Mr. Giant Rhino. All this big wide open space. This is the garage area. This goes right out into the very familiar cave site, you know, with all the skulls and all of the guys that are being tortured and tormented. I brought them all out here on the hill. Okay, all enclosed now in this stone. I love this little area here. Nice little storage area. I need to put some more furnishings in here to make it look the part. Still got my bear under here, under the staircase where he's always been, but the staircase has changed. I replaced it with the that glass stuff, whatever it was called. What's it called? I always forget what it's called. Storm glass. The storm glass set, which is a nice kind of black, I can't even tell if it's wood or stone, but it's black and slate or obsidian, I don't know. Here's the rest of the structure that I've built. On the ground floor, I have a single floor high. Basically, this would be storage space, maybe barracks. I don't know. Whatever you put on the ground floor of a garage area. Oh, yep. Here's some stone I haven't replaced. This little area here is a little nicer. You got the little portalette there, but a little less than portable, I guess. I like the rooms that I built, but right now there's no furnishings in them. I was lucky enough just to get light in here and the overhang to the garage for defensive purposes. I don't know. There's probably got to be a kitchen in here. There's got to be living space. There's got to be a dining area. I have plenty of rooms to work with, believe me. I built this up pretty nicely. So this staircase goes up to the thrall training area, which does not line up with the lower base. So that's why I had to basically build this off into its own little thing. Another floor. Basically, this is just a hallway, though. Again. Not much here. Go upstairs. Overhang right over into the courtyard. On top of the building. Overlooking the training area. So obviously this is more designed for military purposes up here as far as defense goes. So this hallway, what's it going to be used for? I don't know. Maybe some light dining. Again, this would be a decent bedroom area for maybe a captain. And again, this is just basically a little patio area in back. I didn't want to enclose it. I didn't want everything to be enclosed in stone. I thought it would look nice to have a little more areas that were a little open. So this was connecting up to the upper area, which I don't even have built anymore because I got rid of all that. Yeah, I kind of like the way this looks though. If I'm not happy with it, I can always remove the roofs and build it up another couple of floors. You know, I can do whatever. As far as this area goes, not a lot's changed. I put a body over here and had him sleeping, so it made it look like I'm going to have another person too is representing the thralls that need to be trained. This is where I moved the cage, which is good. You can access it from the window too. Storage. I thought about converting this, getting all this stuff out of here, putting it down in the garage. Might turn this into the bedroom space for my trainers. I don't know. And then back out here into the other crevice. That's all for the interior stuff. This is all the stuff I've been doing. All of this back here I did the middle of last week. Most of the stuff I've been doing now was more interior decor and replacing old tiles with new tiles. That was the big part of what I was working on. Now we're going to have to go to flight mode because this is going to get... it's going to take too long to travel. I love that little... This is where I got my pigs. They keep respawning over here. So anytime I want to get baby pigs, 3 of them spawn here all the time. So, outside the base. take a look at this stuff. I've got gateways. 2 gateways. Why do I need 2 gateways? Well, the thought is that this is going to be the main gate, and this over here is going to be walled in, because this path over here, this is basically just a valley, but I wanted to create basically an enclosed path through here, up the hill, into the back entrance. So all this would have to have some walls around it. So whether I put a wall in here or whatever, this would be like the middle of the road, the interior road we would use. Come down here, over here, whoops, up here and inside. All this would be inside the enclosed space of the wall. And I utilized the environment itself to go back up the hill to our main base. All of this stuff I built down here, if I decide I'm sick of it or I don't want to go through with it, I can just go through and delete it. It's pretty much very simply constructed, using the storm glass walls and gates. And then I built this little, I wanted to go across the stream. These looked like they had holes in them, but it turns out there's actually glass. So from a distance, it looks like it's like a filtration thing, like it's just, you know, the water is running through it. But technically speaking, those are actually glass. And I wanted to basically turn all that into a wall, but I needed a way to get across the water without getting my feet wet, so I created a nice little double drawbridge. So I thought it was kind of cool. This is still an exterior wall over here, but basically this gives us access to the little ruined thing here with the ghost bear. There he is. But as you can see, I didn't do much more other than just build it. I wanted to make sure whatever I was building for gates were all going to be lined up and connected. So my walls are all connected up as best I can. I knew I wanted to create a wall up here. Again, we have the water coming through the waterfall, which I thought was kind of neat. But it's going to have a wall above it. I mean, defensively, I want to try to, if you're going to attack this, you're going to have to come down this hill and have nothing but a wall. The gate is here. All that's going to be walled in. Or you're going to have to go up and around, because the next gate, this is going to have a huge tower of some kind of a big building. So I started off with the outside. I built to here, and then I built over here, and then I had to use triangles to do the angle to get to here. And I built this in, and then I built this over, and then I built the rest of this wall up until I got to the mountainside. Then when I went back and decided I wanted to build in this area, I realized that everything that's over here is not going to line up with the original point because of the little angled piece parts. And if I change this, then I would have to replace all of that outside wall, this gate, and everything going up the hillside. And I did not want to do that again. So I decided to leave it where it was. I'm going to build it all in, and then I created this. I have a little tower there, and this thing will have a little gap, but otherwise you won't really be able to tell much. Why are they built up the way they are? Because there's ground under there. This ground slopes up. This is basically me trying to set up, okay, this is going to be a different level. I could do staircases to cover up these little bits of ground, or I could put just more floor on it and build it up a little higher. Or I could have a lower level with storage. So this is basically the bottom floor for each of the tiers in terms of elevation. That's why this thing has an extra one, because under this is the top of the hill. But like I said, I am basically on step 1 of designing this whole thing. I haven't even thought about it. I'm too busy working on my the stuff that I have in my main base. So this may or may not even ever get built. I may decide I don't even want it. I could just put a wall up here if I wanted. But anyway, this is the back entrance. The only other way inside the enclosed gate area. It's got a little step down and a little step down. At the base of this is where I have my little fishing stuff too. I don't know, for some reason I can't get this crab one to work, or lobster trap one to work. I don't know, I gotta figure that out. Probably gotta go online and ask about it. So this wall, again, this is the bare minimum. This is the lowest elevation that works. This is where the wall will go approximately as I work my way up the hillside to there. Nobody really wants to attack us from this angle anyway, but the only other viable spot to get to us is this little valley here, which I walled off. It's not exactly an approachable area, but this is pretty defensible up here. If you attack from this angle, you really want it. You really gotta want it. It's so much easier to approach from out here. Over the hill, descend into the valley. But if you had foot soldiers, you would have to basically go all the way around. You have to get to the lower area. There we go. Boom. Come down here. Deal with the local fauna. We are far away from where I was. There we go. Inside the gate. So that's kind of what I got going on outside the home base. I replaced the old Nordic statue with the Mitra shrine. Not too bad, isn't it? It still hides itself well from a distance. Can't even tell that it's there. Yeah, I just don't know. I don't know if I want to do this much construction out here to make this enclosure. It's a nice size base, but I don't know. It's probably more trouble than it's worth. It would go from having a secret little temple / arena to this mighty fortress. I just don't know if I want to invest in it, but that's where I'm at. You've seen everything that I have built thus far in my base. So, hey, if you like it, give me comments. What do you think? What do you think I need to do different? Obviously, I'll have other videos posted before I respond to anything, but I'm definitely curious what people think if they have an opinion. I really like this portion of the game. The one thing I do love about the Conan Exiles game is I like the base building. I think they have some really cool stuff. Even little graphic glitches aside, I can get by most of it. The community is nice. They've created a lot of mod content that I think enhances the game. The stuff that they've done in-game is good. I do think that they're offering all this stuff in the marketplace and selling it, and that's great. If you want to get it now, buy it. I really wish at the end of the year they would gather up some of those and just release a DLC pack with a bunch of the stuff in it. They're still selling it. They still got to make some money off of it, but they can lower the price. If the people who want to get it now, they can pay a higher price in June, July, August, or they can wait until January and get it at a discount in a packaged DLC. Because I find it very, very frustrating to go into the bazaar and spend what is basically $10, $20 for this. It's neat, and if you really, really want it, and it's really going to get you something you want, fine, buy it. But if you don't want to spend that, I don't think that other people should be punished with never being able to utilize it. I mean, $1,000 for armor. Give me a break. I'm just not going to spend it. I'm waiting for the next round of Battle Pass stuff. The Battle Pass stuff kind of pays for itself. They give you so many free coins that basically it pays for itself. So I'm going to use my money to get into the next Battle Pass where I can unlock a bunch of assorted stuff. It's better for me and my money. And some of the stuff they bring in here I really like. Weapon emotes. These are good. I could use these in my arena. As long as they are available for my followers, NPCs. I was going to mention this. My personal emotes I don't care how many of these they give you, don't mean a damn thing. I could give two shits how many different emotes I am capable of performing because I'm not going to use these. The only emotes I care about are ones I can give my thralls because it gives life to what they are doing. I wish I could use all of these with my thralls, but they don't. They don't let you do them with thralls. So most of my thralls are just standing there like posts. Boring. I really wish if they're going to do the whole emote thing, that they would open it up to more of them to be used with the thralls. Otherwise, I don't really care. I'm certainly not going to buy an emote if it's just for me. It's not worth real world money. Because look at this. I mean, it costs $20 to get 2,600 Crom coins. So basically, this set is $20, more or less. For these handful of items, that's $20 worth of stuff. Is that worth $20? Not to me. I think it's cool. I like the whole Japanese themed Yamatai stuff, but I don't have that build. The same thing up here with the Stygius stuff. I don't have that build right now, so I'm not going to spend money on it. But it would be nice to have access to that at the end of the year, you know? Wouldn't it be kind of cool to be able to purchase extra stuff at the end of the year at a discount? They'd be able to get some people to buy some more of their stuff. I'd much rather buy a DLC content with a lot of stuff in it than parceling it out $5-10 a time throughout the year. I will spend the money if it's something that I really feel like I have to have it, but I feel like I'm missing out on a lot of content, and if they never release it to the public and outside of this format, yeah, I don't think they're doing themselves. I don't think they're helping themselves out. I'm quitting first because the last time I did my recording, I forgot to actually shut off my game. I came back 3 hours later and my person was still standing in this exact same spot, starving to death. So I hope you guys enjoyed this recording. Give me some comments. Give me a thumbs up. If you like the videos, I'm going to keep making them whether you give me a thumbs up or not, but it sure is nice to know that somebody is watching them. Stay tuned for the next video. Thanks.